What's going on, people? It's the Xbot 448, and before I fully start this video, I want to give a major shout out to another fellow YouTuber. He goes by the name NX Gamer. I was going through YouTube this past weekend and I came across a video of his talking about resolution. Alright, and I know, you know, resolution is not a major part of game development, okay? It's basically the last thing that developers decide on in their game. But this guy has a great video. I'm gonna put a link in the description. Definitely check it out. It's filled with common sense. Yeah, for those casual fanboys out there, there's big words and common sense in his video. But and I know that hate might, you know, start growing inside your body, but try to control it. Get through the video, listen to what he has to say, and hopefully by the end of the video you will realize what a weak point this whole resolution thing is when it comes to this generation and future generation of games. Alright, basically what he went on to say is that there are many different ways to develop a game, and a lot of developers in the development community, they're coming up with new ways to output resolution while maintaining performance. Okay, there's you've seen it done in Ubisoft's games. You have Rainbow Six, you have Assassin's Creed Unity, and they use a type of either temporal projection, temporal reconstruction, some type of filter pass. These are all terms in the development community that kind of relate to what Quantum Break is doing and what the guys at Remedy decided to do when outputting resolution. Alright, now when you look at these games, when you look at Assassin's Creed Unity, when you look at Rainbow Six, I've never heard anybody say that these games look like garbage. Alright, and these games are in fact using different techniques to output a resolution. Not only that, Killzone Shadowfall did something similar where it was kind of confusing at the time for people who weren't in game development and such about what the resolution was in that game. What I'm coming down to is if you look at all these games and they look amazing. I was one of the people that said that Killzone Shadowfall, I never played the game. All I saw was gameplay. The graphics looked incredible. Alright, I heard a lot of other kind of bad stories about the gameplay and stuff like that, but that's not what I'm talking about here. Alright, so in other words, whatever resolution it came out to be, the game looked incredible. The same with Unity. Assassin's Creed Unity, no matter what you thought about the game, the graphics were insane. Alright, Rainbow Six, people absolutely loved that game as well, thought that game looked good. So why is Quantum Break any different now? Now check this out. I am going to drop a bomb that I got from this video. Alright, it seems that Uncharted4 is also using a technique to where it stores data from previous render targets, previous renders, and it builds the data up, at least for the shadows. Okay, so it's using a type of temporal reconstruction as well to output a resolution. Now the thing is, in the development community, there seems to be this kind of like speed track. Alright, you have gamers looking towards 4K. You have this whole spin that resolution means a lot now in game development, which is absolutely insane. So you have developers working on new different techniques to try to output to 1080 while still giving a next-gen game. A next-gen game with more stuff to do, more particle effects, global illumination, all sorts of different lighting effects and stuff like that. Those are those main things that make a game next-gen, and it's not resolution, guys. I'm sorry to tell you, man. That holy grail of 1080p doesn't really mean shit, okay? Now, I know people are talking about how 4K TVs are going to build steam. They're going to become the commonplace in people's living rooms in a few years. Well, guess what? The developers are doing these things so this way they would be able to output to 4K on future consoles. These guys are doing stuff for us, alright? And when they come up with new techniques and stuff like that, it seems that because, you know, it's getting harder and harder to count pixels within a game with today's game development, people are going to bash these developers for doing something creative. Now, with Quantum Break, the game looks incredible, alright? Not only that, the gameplay is, I don't know. I really want to get my hands on this. To me, I want to play this game. I want to see how this game feels, how this game plays, how the story unfolds. You know, all the important things to a game. And I already seen that it looks good. I can just imagine the stuff that hasn't been streamed yet, that hasn't been shown yet. Not only that, with what Quantum Break is doing with the overall look of the game, it blends in really good with the TV show. Alright? You don't have such a stark contrast between video games and TV show. Alright? They create a mood and an environment that stretches beyond the video game into the TV show, back to the video game again. And that's what Remedy was trying to do. And I think they might be able to pull it off. But all in all, these developers are basically creating new techniques to output resolution, so this way they can get more CPU power out of the system to do more actual next-gen gaming things. Alright? In NX Gamer's video, he talked about certain techniques giving about 40% performance increase to developers. So this way they could do more stuff. That's what I want to hear. Alright? If the game looks gorgeous and they could do more stuff, who cares exactly how they got the resolution to be what it was? Alright? And the one really cool thing is when he was showing the video of Killzone Shadowfall, he was showing walking back and forth, and he was looking at this tree and how this tree changed from certain distances and stuff like that. It was very reminiscent of what I was seeing with Digital Foundry's analysis of Quantum Break. When they got to a certain place in the hall, how certain things popped and appeared. Killzone was doing the same thing. Nobody's talking about that. And my whole thing here is also with Digital Foundry. Digital Foundry is supposed to, what they do is analyze games. They're supposed to be in that game development community, that environment. Why don't they know, or why don't they tell people that they know what's going on in the development world when it comes to outputting resolution, when it comes to Ubisoft and Naughty Dog and all these people trying to, come up with new ways to output the resolution so they can put more stuff into the game. It just seems that Digital Foundry isn't doing this. Now, within my research, I found that a little peculiar. Before, I was just like, Digital Foundry, they do this because this is what they do. But now that I'm looking at it, if this is such a thing in the development community, finding these new procedures to save, power and resources when it comes to console games, so this way, they can add more stuff into the game, why isn't Digital Foundry saying anything about this when they're analyzing these games? Saying that we know that in the community they're finding new and different ways to output resolution. They're doing this in order to set up for 4K. But they're not saying any of this stuff, which makes me a little skeptical of Digital Foundry now. I let it go before. I just thought it was something that they do, and they try to analyze, to the core and just give you their general analysis. But they're not letting you know what this development community has been doing. What motivates them to do things like this, which is leaving a huge piece of the pie out. And I'm sorry, I cannot excuse them for this. But this is my video for now. like I said before, definitely hit that description. Click on that link. Watch that video. There's even a link to an article written about Ubisoft and what Ubisoft said they were doing when it comes to this resolution output. As usual, if you like the video, definitely give it that thumbs up. Hit up the comment section. I know there's going to be good and bad comments. I actually really enjoy reading all of them. If you haven't subscribed yet, definitely subscribe. But as for now, this is the Xbot448, and I am definitely signing off.